Waste your time in long shopping lines? Obviously, that's not your style. That's why you need a fast and easy way to shop. The J.C. Penney Catalog Way. Charge everything from fashions to furnishings at home, by phone. And get speedy home delivery, too. The J.C. Penney Fall and Winter Catalog.
Found at your J.C. Penney department store in Knoxville, Morristown, Alcoa, and Oak Ridge. Come to J.C. Penney, the coat place for the newest fashion in outerwear. Popular sports styles in wool blends, long and short lengths with puff shoulders, high collars, and hoods. Try on a dressy wool trimmed in luxury fur, wool blends with puff shoulders and high necklines, or attractive cape styles with embroidered scarves. Stadium coats for fall in reversible and vested corduroys, vested sweater coats and long quilted styles with stand-up collars. All at the coat place, J.C. Penney.
Okay, we're back at Bergtar Stadium, and I luckily did get to have a piece of chicken. Not that anybody cares, I'm sure, but we appreciate the fine hospitality up here. We're right next door to the President's Box. Dr. Cordell Maddox, of course, up here at Carson Newman College.
You know, Dr. Cordell Maddox used to be known as Grubby when he played both ways, so both center and linebacker at Furman University.
Anybody still call him that?
I do.
Carson Newman does not get much on their first play from scrimmage here. The 20-yard line. In fact, they may have even lost half a yard. Rutledge on the carry that time. Jeff Johnson, the quarterback. So the bad news up here from the Carson Newman aspect is that Jay Andrews is out, at least for this game, and according to Coach Sparks, possibly the rest of the season. We'll know more about that knee injury when it's evaluated tomorrow. Handoff outside. Boyce Green's got room. He can get around that right side. He does. The 30, the 35, at the foot race. 40, 45, 50, 40, 30. Can he stay in bounds? He's in bounds, and he's going to go in for the Eagle touchdown.
Yes, sirree. He went it without the blocking that time. He followed his blocking on the first touchdown he made, which was the long one, and he did very well on just broken field running this time. And he gets open in a hurry.
A fine tightrope job he did on this left side over here too, Kingfish.
Yes,
I thought he might
sirree.
be out around the 35, but he was able to keep in bounds. And Boyce Green with his second touchdown run of the game. The Eagles now up 23-3. Jennings on to try for point number 24. Boyce Green with at least over 100 yards now. We're not sure how many, but he had 58 on that one run in the first half. The kick is through, 24-3, so the Eagles with 6:55 to go in the third quarter. Now on top 24-3 as they draw first blood in the second half.
You know, Carson Newman doesn't seem to be any different from any other football team, and they got weird kickers. They go down there with a barefoot sidewind kicker, but the only thing I can say about this boy is I can pronounce his name.
And he gets it through the uprights. That's
Well,
what matters.
that's what counts.
Back in when you were playing in Wake Forest back in the late 40s, Kingfish, I guess you never saw anything like that.
Oh, definitely not. Too many free spirits today, I guess.
It's definitely different. Back in your coaching days, if you had a fella come to you like that and said he wanted to try something that way, would you see how it worked out first, or would you...
I was pretty closed-minded, and I was very autocratic.
So if you wanted him to wear two shoes, he was going to wear two shoes?
I'd say he would. He may have looked for his third one.
24-3 our score here from Bergtar Stadium in Jefferson City. A very happy group of fans on the sideline, and they're feeling pretty confident right about now. And as well they should be, I suppose. 24-3 with 6:55 to go. Boyce Green with two outstanding runs for touchdowns. Mike Stone with the kickoff return to start the contest. Those have accounted for the 3 touchdowns. A field goal for both teams, making it 24-3. Sturgill with the kickoff. That's going to come down about the 10-yard line. Shashadi has it around the left side, and he's going to be met about the 22-yard line. So the Liberty Baptist Flames. Mike LeFew on the tackle there for Carson Newman, number 4, along with Larry Givens. 22-yard line is where the Liberty Baptist Flames will start, and Kingfish, I guess now you almost got to abandon your game plan and open it up a little bit.
Well, the game plan now would be to just try to play catch-up, and you're definitely going to have to put that ball in the air.
So we will see how many wide-out positions they go with. It looks like 2 on the right side and 1 on the left, as they'll go with 3 receivers, 2 out of the backfield. And we'll see if Benson goes to the air immediately. Apparently he will. Back to pass. He's got some time. He goes deep. There's two men right there, and the pass is over the wrong shoulder, it looked to be that time, Kingfish. Very good coverage on the play, but
good
it
coverage
looked like he couldn't
and a
have caught
long
it anyway.
pass. That boy can pass right well. He's just going to see if he can get together with the receiver next time.
Number 83, Kelvin Edwards, the favorite receiver of John Betson. Derek Goodson and Steve Mills on the coverage for Carson Newman secondary. So it'll bring up second down and 10 yards to go from about the 22-yard line. Carson Newman Eagle football once again over WTVK this season. And of course, the Ken Sparks Show every Saturday afternoon at noon with the voice of the Eagles, Stan Cotton, and Coach Ken Sparks. John Benson back to pass. He's got time across the middle, but it's tipped and almost intercepted. Number 93, James Boone Kofer, got a hand on it there.
You know, Kofa is the fourth brother in his family. His oldest brother, I think, played for Knoxville College, two playing at University of Tennessee, and now he at Carson Newman is carrying on the Kofa tradition.
Correct. That is a very talented family indeed. And Mike Kofer last week, the player of the week for Tennessee defensively. And hopefully tonight Mike will have just as good a game as Tennessee goes up against Iowa State. Neyland Stadium at 7:30. Tickets are still available if you want to see that contest, by the way. Benson brings him up again. He looks to pass. He goes across the middle. It's complete to number 81. That is Fred Banks, but Fred tripped up there, does not get the yardage that he needs, about the 26-yard line. So once again, a punting situation for the Flames.
David, I was just picking up a little information. You were wondering if Boyce Green had passed his 100-yard mark, and for the record, he is averaging 20 yards a carry. He's had 8 carries for 160 yards. He's just about to get serious, isn't he?
Well, that certainly answers our question about 100 yards. 8 for 160, my goodness.
The question is he going to make 200?
I can even figure that out, that that's a lot of yardage. Rutledge right there fumbles the ball and falls on it on the punt. No harm done, however. 37-yard line is where Carson Newman will take over. 8 carries for 160 yards.
8 carries for 160 yards. Kind of reminds me of a real ball carry.
I believe that averages about 20 yards a carry. How about that?
I think so. I think Van Williams must have told him something when he departed.
Williams, of course, the All-American running back from Carson Newman last season. Boyce Green and Hugh Rutledge, the two big men in the running game this year. Jeff Joslin hands off to Rutledge. No, he doesn't. He throws across the middle, complete, and then dropped at the 50-yard line. And
that was a pretty good contact made there.
It's looked like Cagle might have been hurt for a second as he laid on the turf for a little bit there at the 50-yard line, but probably just upset with himself that he didn't make the reception. Joslin looking over to the sideline.
Cagle is another Knoxville boy who is seeming to come along pretty well. Young boy, but very big and has a lot of potential.
Cagle in at the tight end position right now. Joslin with a handoff to Rutledge. He'll get across the 40-yard line to about the 41. And it'll bring up about a 3rd down and 6 yards to go. So the Eagles with a 21-point lead, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Eagles keep going to the air or go to Boyce. They've been loosening up that secondary, and they've had some receivers open too. Jeff Joslin called on to quarterback this afternoon after the injury to starter Jay Andrews.
You know, Liberty Baptist hadn't seemed to get out of their 4-3 defense. They've stayed in that 4-3 defense, so they're expecting a lot of passing.
Joslin brings him up. He rolls to his left, looks across the middle. He has nobody to throw to, and in trouble, he just takes it down at the 40-yard line, tackled by John Sanders and Earl Orwood, number 92. So the Eagles fail to get the first down on this possession.
But he made the good mental commitment of holding on to that ball.
Well, this is another chance for Bobby Stanton to punt here, and he did not have a good punting average in the first half, 2 for 21 yards. So we'll see what Bobby can come up with this time. Shashati back deep again. Punt away at the 30. And Bobby gets a little more distance on this one. Up to the 22-yard line. And a whole group of Eagle defenders to pick him up. That was Fred Banks, number 81, not 18 Shashati. 81 Fred Banks on the play there. He's down at the 24-yard line. Derek Goodson, the first man to greet him. So 4:24 to go in the 3rd quarter of play, with Carson Newman leading Liberty Baptist by a score of 24-3.
I think this is a good time to compliment David Vargas, who has really done an excellent job as sports promotion director here at Carson-Newman. He has the working press all lined up. He has everything fixed up just like a good promotional man would.
And we could not do this broadcast without him, that's for sure. Mike LaFew in a strong safety for Carson-Newman right now, replacing Melvin Melton. James Boone Kofer in for David Farmer at linebacker. Banks out wide to the right. Benson in trouble. The ball is stripped. Carson-Newman has a chance to pick it up. They do. That's not going to be a touchdown. But Carson-Newman will have the ball at the 9-yard line. Jerome Taylor with the strip.
Very alert defense, but in college, unfortunately, whenever fumble is recovered, it will be down at the spot of recovery.
Jerome Taylor stripped the ball, and Alan Stevens, number 77, picked it up. He wanted to score the TD, but you can't do that, of course, in college football. So it's at the 10-yard line where they'll spot it. Carson-Newman first and goal to go, and the Liberty Baptist Flames are in a heap of trouble. Carson-Newman's first and goal to go. Joslin with it. Hands off to Rutledge around the right side. He's in the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eagle touchdown. It's 30-3. And Kingfish, that one looked easy.
Well, nothing comes real easy, but they make it look easy.
Fine blocking on the right side of the line. And Steve Fenton, our statistician, says national champs, the note he writes for me. And we'll send that note over to Elon. 30-3. They're going to try to make it 31 with a point after touchdown. Jennings up, and it's good. So this one is now officially a wrap. Carson-Newman on their way to putting it to Liberty Baptist, 31-3. We'll be back to Burke Tar Stadium here at Jefferson City after we take this message. 31-3, the Eagles lead Liberty Baptist.
You're sure to be on time and fashionable as well with Citizen 7 quartz watches for men and women from JCPenney. Over 50 years of craftsmanship go into each Citizen 7 watch. Solid-state electronics for accuracy and reliability now and the future. For unequaled value, it's JCPenney's for Citizen 7 quartz watches. We're making the most of time.
Hey, Paul Adams, the old paint commissioner, has done it again. He's got fantastic savings on all Lucite wall paint. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $16.49, and his sale price is only $10.95. Plus, you get a $2.50 rebate from DuPont, making your cost a low $8.45 a gallon. Now, that's a savings of $8.04. Come, let the old paint commissioner paint you a deal at Granning Discount Paint Centers with 3 locations. 311 North Broadway, 4821 North Broadway, and 10,001 Kingston Pike.
31-3 our score here at Jefferson City, Burke Tar Stadium. The Carson-Newman Eagles lead the Liberty Baptist Flames. Mike Sturgill ready to kick off. Guy Shoshatti back deep at his own goal line for the Liberty Flames. That one may get out of bounds, and it does. That will be an infraction, and Liberty Baptist will get the advantage of the kick coming from the 35-yard line as they'll move it 5 yards back. Baseball this afternoon, Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers currently have a 2-0 lead after 2 innings of play. That game will be joined in progress over WTVK at the end of our Carson-Newman Liberty Baptist college football game. And, of course, a very important game for the Los Angeles Dodgers as they trail Atlanta by a game and a half in the National League Western Division. And Kingfish, I know that you like baseball as well as football, and this is the time of year that the pennant races get pretty exciting.
It does get pretty exciting, and I know the people in Atlanta are really anticipatory of hoping that the World Series may be partially played in Atlanta this year.
That would be nice.
I guess it would.
35-yard line is where Mike Sturgill will kick off this time after the 5-yard infraction for kicking it out of bounds. So Shoshatti will have the advantage now. He'll move up to about his 5-yard line where he hopes to take the kickoff. Carson-Newman special teams we haven't said much about today, Kingfish, but they have done a very good job.
They really have. It's a well-balanced team, a well-coached team, a good disciplined team. In fact, I tell you the truth, I'm very enthused at watching that caliber of football.
They say this is the year. They haven't shown us anything differently than that today. Shashadi takes it at the 4. Up to the 10, 15, 20. He's got a small hole, but it closes quickly. And he makes it only to about the 21-yard line, where the Flames will take over. 1st and 10 to go, trailing 31-3. And let's see if Liberty Baptist can get something going.
Larry Gibbons on the tackle.
Kingfish, this is the time of game now that you start to look for some of those 2nd and 3rd teamers. Carson Newman defense may be sending in some people, give them some more experience since the game looks to be pretty well in hand.
You're absolutely right, David. Now is the time to get some playing experience for some of these boys who just hadn't had the opportunity to start. But this is a good coaching situation to find out what else depth you have.
Benson on the pitch. That goes to Clark. Around the left side, he'll get to about the 27-yard line. Pickup of 7, 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Tracy Smothers in on the tackle that time, number 92 in the lineup for the Eagles. Steve Shelton enters the game to replace James Barron at cornerback for Carson Newman. 2nd down, 3 yards to go as they run out of the I formation. Split backs both sides. The handoff up the middle. It goes to Clark. He'll come down to the 30, 35, 40, and about the 41-yard line before he's taken down. So the draw play works for him that time, Kingfish, as they freeze the linebackers a little bit.
There's that.
Other changes defensively for Carson Newman. Number 4, Mike LeFew, in for Melvin Melton as strong safety, and Terry Miner in for Derek Goodson at cornerback. As the Eagles continue to make some changes defensively as they lead 31-3. 1st and 10 to go for Liberty Baptist at the 41-yard line. Benson keeps it himself and really has no place to go, and I don't know if that was busted or planned.
Yeah, that was, he dropped the ball, fumbled the ball out on a snap. The exchange was poor, and he probably did well just to recover it.
Well, if he dropped the ball, which I didn't see, that obviously wasn't planned unless he was trying to bounce it, but they're not to that stage yet that they're going to have to be that tricky, we hope.
Basketball comes later.
Basketball comes later, and Carson Newman expected to have another fine basketball team up here, too. They've men and women's team. In fact, I was talking to some people today who are trying to build up some more interest in the basketball program up here. The ladies team, the Lady Eagles, look to be very good going into the season. A long pass downfield, but there's nobody there. Number 81, Fred Banks, just had no chance at all. Very well covered by Steve Sheldon. He was with him step for step, and when you get a secondary play like that, really not much you can do about it.
That's right.
Steve Sheldon only 5'7". An update, the Atlanta Braves trail the Cincinnati Reds 3-0 in the top of the 1st inning as we talk about that National League Western Division race. The Braves have won 3 in a row. The Braves were winners last night over the Reds. Mario Soto, I believe, the starting pitcher for the Reds in that one, so the Braves up against a tough customer. Benson, the quarterback for Liberty Baptist. 3rd down, 9 to go. He goes back to pass and out of bounds. Benson really has not been that impressive so far. In the first half, Kingfish, he had 8 completions out of 15, but a lot of those passes seem to be out of the backfield when they're completed. When he's had to go to the sideline or deep, he hasn't been on target.
No, he hasn't. I think a lot of these passes now are desperation passes, and as you so aptly put it, his secondary receivers were his prime receivers in the first half, reason his completion record was a little better.
So another punting situation for the Liberty Baptist Flames. Rutledge comes up and takes it about his 24-yard line, and he's not going to go anywhere else as 4 or 5 Liberty Baptist Flames take him down. But Carson Newman will have the ball once again. ...20-yard line is where they spot it. 1st and 10 to go for the Carson Newman Eagles. 2:09 to play. And I'd say now offensively we may see some new people. Number 7 comes into the contest. Thomas Gifford. Thomas has played some quarterback in the past for Carson Newman, and he will play today. Hand off to number 21, Richard Mabry, who's in there at running back. So let's try to set that Carson Newman backfield for you since there's some new people in there. Richard Mabry at 1 running back spot. The quarterback, Thomas Gifford, as Jeff Joslin may be through for the afternoon. The other running back, Ted Marcus. Handoff goes to Richard Mabry, picks up a yard or two. Kingfish, do you know anything about Thomas Gifford? This is our first chance to see him
I don't
play.
know anything about Thomas Gifford other than the fact that he did get in there and made the first two snap exchanges without fumbling. He is from about 5'9", kind of a spark plug, and he comes from somewhere around Knoxville, doesn't he?
That's what I was going to see.
Oh, no, Aiken, South Carolina. Well, that's close to Knoxville.
Yeah, that's at least a neighboring state, we'll say.
That's right.
We've had some good people come out of South Carolina to the pitch, and there's nothing doing right there on that one. Number 25, Marvin Hill in there now at a running back position. He doesn't get anything. So Carson Newman will have to punt. 4th down and 5 to go from their own 20-yard line. Actually, it should be about 4th and 10 because they lost yardage on that play, so the scoreboard incorrect. 4th down and 10 yards to go from the 20. Bobby Stanton in to punt, and they alternate again. This time, it will not be Shoshati, it will be Fred Banks. So Banks has been doing the punt returning, Shoshati the kickoff returning. Stanton's punt is a pretty good one, drives him back to the 35-yard line. Banks will take it around the right side and go out of bounds about the 43. Larry Jones on the tackle that time. Carson Newman Eagle football live over WTVK. David Sharp along with Fred Kingfish Isaacs from Bergtar Stadium. A very happy Eagle on hand this afternoon as the homestanding Carson Newman Eagles lead 31-3 with about 23 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Greg White now in at left tackle. Barry Mauser at right tackle as the Eagles continue to play more people. Curtis Collins at left end. Benson is still the quarterback for Liberty Baptist. The pitch out to Mitchell Clark on the right side. And now we have a new quarterback in for Liberty Baptist, Mike Forsland, who's been doing the punting all day, is the second-team quarterback, and John Benson retires with, I guess you'd have to call it a subpar day for John. He didn't complete the passes that he wanted to as far as moving the team down the field. He got some of the short passes, but not really enough. So Forsland comes in. It looks like he's going to mop up this thing in the fourth quarter. And that's where we're heading, the fourth quarter. Carson Newman with a 31-3 lead over Liberty Baptist. And we come back, we'll see if Liberty Baptist with their new quarterback can put some points on the board. Let's take you to this commercial message. When we come back, Carson Newman with the lead 31-3, Liberty Baptist with the football.
Where to, buddy?
NBC, please.
Yeah, what do you want to go there for?
Well, I'm going to work there.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. They got nothing. I never watched them.
Oh, on Thursday nights, they've got Fame.
Yeah?
Yeah, and Cheers and Hill Street Blues.
Really?
Yeah, and this season they got Taxi.
Taxi? Hey, what are you going to do there at NBC?
I'm going to drive a cab.
Taxi joins the great Thursday night lineup on WTVK. Same time, better station.
Hey, I'm going to watch NBC.
Hey, Paul Adams, the old paint commissioner, has done it again. You'll love the gigantic savings on all Lucite house paint. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $18.99 and his sale price at just $12.99. Plus, DuPont will give you a $3 rebate, making your cost a low $9.99. Now, that's a $9 per gallon savings. Let the old paint commissioner paint you a deal at Granning Discount Paint Centers with 3 locations to serve you: 311 North Broadway, 4821 North Broadway, and 10001 Kingston Pike.
Welcome back to Bergtar Stadium here in Jefferson City. And the fellas you're looking at right now, Chris Dyer and ace cameraman Mike Watkins taking some shots of the Carson Newman Eagle while he's doing some dancing. And there's reason to dance here today. 31-3, the Carson Newman Eagles leading Liberty Baptist. The team out of Lynchburg, Virginia, not having a very good day at all. They're going with a new quarterback right now. They're on the 47-yard line, 1st and 10 yards to go. Forsland goes back to pass, and he bounces one out to the right, incomplete.
You know, the Baptists have come a long way. That's the first time I've seen 2 Baptists dancing in public.
Well, I'm not even going to comment on that, except to say that they're pretty happy, and when you're happy, I guess sometimes you dance, and nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely right.
The band is whooping it up, and it's just a good old time up here today. The crowd, 4,736 out of a capacity of 5,000, so a very fine crowd, especially when you got a television game. Carson Newman a little anxious there. They jump off sides, and that'll make it 3rd down and 1 rather than the 3rd down and 6. Carson Newman making changes defensively and offensively as they have this game well in hand. They don't want to get anybody else injured. The worst thing about this contest, from a Carson Newman standpoint, Kingfish, is the loss of Jay Andrews, but Jeff Jossum, a very competent quarterback, a very capable one, and they've got some other people to back him up as well.
It certainly would appear that way. He's come in and handled himself well. Now it looks like we'll have a chance to see Gifford back in the quarterback slot. I'm very, very enthused with the approach that Carson Newman has taken to football.
The Eagles at home again next week when they take on Franklin. A 1:30 kickoff. Tennessee off next weekend, so a good chance for folks from around the Knoxville area to come up and see these Eagles play. The handoff to number 42, Mitchell Clark, and he'll gain a couple of yards, enough for the first down. Barry Mouser on the tackle. Barry Mouser from Farragut High School.
You brought up a good point, David. Next week, Tennessee does have off, and I think that the people in the area would do themselves justice to come up here and watch real top-drawer football. This is great football, and the enthusiasm of the crowd would certainly indicate that also.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with taking in a doubleheader like I'm going to do today, watching Carson Newman this afternoon and Tennessee tonight. These guys can play an excellent brand of football, and if you haven't seen them before, you're missing a good chance. You ought to try to make it up, and next week, a real good opportunity. Forsland back to pass. He's got somebody across the right side, but it's incomplete around the 38-yard line. That's Shashadi over there. He can't come up with it, so it'll be second down and 10 to go from the 43-yard line. Next week will be band day here at Carson Newman. Carter High School, Jefferson County, and Sevier County, all those bands will be here to participate. September 18th, and of course the next week is September 25th, the first SAC 8 game, and it's a biggie as Carson Newman travels to Elon on September 25th. Forsland, the quarterback. He's going to have to try to put it in the air, and he's got a whole lot of people coming after him. He gets it away. It's complete. Oh, what a tackle. Oscar Montgomery, number 49, at the 41-yard line, a pickup of about 5 yards. So it'll be third down and 5 or 6 yards, about 6 yards to go from the 41-yard line for the Liberty Baptist Flames. 13 minutes and 55 seconds to go. And some folks up here from Red Bank. I certainly know where that is. Red Bank, Tennessee, right next to Chattanooga, a former home of mine. Some fine folks down there in Red Bank, Tennessee. Forsland goes back to pass. He's got some pressure. It's complete, but it's going to lose yardage, it looks like, about the 42-yard line.
You know, I was just looking at the physical makeup of the second-string quarterback here at Liberty Baptist. Is just about analogous to the first string. He's about 6'3", and he weighs about 210, 15 pounds. Both of them big boys.
Used to see a lot of that versus the single wing days, and you have your punter who is also the quarterback.
And the single wing days, I can remember playing on a college line that was considered large and didn't average but 200 pounds. Now the backs average that much.
Times have changed. A high snap, but Forsland handles it well. And booming kick. That looks like it may go in the end zone. At least Hugh Rutledge hopes it will. And they try to stop it at the 1. A good effort, but it does not stay in the playing surface. It goes into the end zone, so Carson Newman will have it first and 10 at the 20-yard line with 13:27 to go. And I guess now's the time, Kingfish, when you want to try some new things, you might do it. If you got some new people in there, you go with some new wrinkles, and if you make a mistake now, it doesn't matter nearly as much.
Well, either you do that or you get on a team bus and get the heck out of here.
If you're on the Liberty Baptist side, you might be sort of hoping that clock would go a little bit faster right now.
It does draw itself out when you're behind. That far behind.
Second team offense in for Carson Newman. There's a flag on the play. Quarterback Gifford keeps it. And we'll see what that's all about.
Flag on that play.
Carson Newman retreating. Apparently it's against them. As we talked about the schedule, let's run down the rest of it for you. After the Elon game on September 25th, Carson Newman will travel to Catawba for another SAC 8 game on October 2nd. October 9th, the Eagles come home to take on Newberry here at Bergtar Stadium at a 7 o'clock kickoff October 9th. October 16th, they take on Mars Hill on the road at 2:30. Then October 23rd, our next broadcast live over WTVK, Gardner-Webb, a homecoming game. After that, Lenore Ryan, another SAC 8 contest on the road October 30th. Central Florida, which should be a fun trip for David Barger and the folks here at Carson Newman to take, go down to Central Florida November 6th. And then Presbyterian November 13th rounds out the season. Gifford goes back to pass, and that could be intercepted, and it is at the 46-yard line.
The pass is intercepted by
Earl Fisher, number 2 there in the secondary for Liberty Baptist on the play, so they will take over at the 46-yard line. And Gifford that time tried to air it out, but just didn't have quite enough mustard on it there, Kingfish.
He just a little short.
And we'll see if the Flames come up with any changes offensively now.
Talking about Gifford being a little bit short, though, you know, you have to keep these boys under playing conditions, though, so they can exercise a bit more experience.
Forslund on the pitch to Clark. He makes it around the left side and gets over the 50-yard line to about the 48. Alan Stevens, number 77, on the tackle for the Eagles. So a pickup of about 6 yards, we'll say. 2nd down and 4 to go. President Cordell Maddox over to our right, along with the fine folks and Carson Newman, the president's box, and a lot of smiles on those faces over there. Forslund brings them up, still going out of the same formation. Goes to the wide back. That's Mitchell Clark, the tailback. He takes it around the right side, and he'll get inside the 40-yard line, about the 39. And Mitchell Clark, who came in here very highly touted, Kingfish, has really been boxed up pretty well by the Carson Newman defense.
He has. You can tell he's a good player. He has a lot of attributes that a good running back has to have. But the Carson Newman defense has just been superlative today.
You really can't find much fault with Carson Newman offensively or defensively. They've made the big plays, they've made the sustained drives, and they've stopped the Flames when they've had to. Forslund back to pass. Instead, he hands off to Clark across the middle. A arm tackle right there that he eludes and gets past the 35-yard line to about the 34. Steve Sheldon comes up on the stop. So they'll spot it to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 5 yards to go. So the Flames, I'm sure, would like to score, even though the contest is not really in doubt. But I'm sure Liberty Baptist would like to go home with some more points on the board. This time they have 2 wide men on the right side of your screen. Now one comes in motion. That's Banks. And Forslund goes back to pass. A little quick out on the right side. And that should be enough for the 1st down if he stayed in bounds over there. Kelvin Edwards. Depends on if he made it past that line marker at the 30. It's close to a first, but instead they spotted about the 31. And there's an injured player down on the field right now. Offensive lineman Richard Finlock, right guard, is down. So we'll have a momentary break in the action. The ball at the 31-yard line. 3rd down and a yard to go. Kingfish looking ahead to the rest of this season. The Eagles, of course, playing the tough Sac 8, which is always a lot of competition. Elon and Carson Newman were picked to tie by a lot of the people this year going into the season. And that's definitely going to be an interesting contest in 2 weeks.
Absolutely will. And the caliber of ball played in the Sac 8 has definitely improved over the last few years.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now for a commercial message. When we come back, the Flames are going to try to put some points on the board. Right now, they lead it. They trail, rather, by a score of 31-3. We'll be back to Berktar Stadium after you watch this.
Coming soon, a star-studded weekend on TV 26. See live coverage of the United American Bank Pro Celebrity Tennis Classic starting September 18th only on WTVK.
Waste your time in long shopping lines? Obviously, that's not your style. That's why you need a fast and easy way to shop. The J.C. Penney Catalog Way. Charge everything from fashions to furnishings at home, by phone. And get speedy home delivery, too. The J.C. Penney Fall and Winter Catalog.
Found at your J.C. Penney department store in Knoxville, Morristown, Alcoa, and Oak Ridge.
You probably think the brightest, freshest new comedy of the season will be on ABC. CBS? The brightest, freshest new comedy of the season is called Cheers, and it's coming to NBC. That's right, NBC.
Thursday night at 9 on TV 26.
And while we were away, we missed a couple of plays here. The Liberty Baptist Flames going for a 1st down on a 4th and 2, but they did not make it. Carson Newman holds again. They'll take over on their own 34-yard line. And really, Kingfish, everything's going right for the Eagles and nothing for the Flames.
Well, usually that's the way it goes. You get a commanding lead like Carson Newman has, and psychologically, it's just hard to overcome when you're behind.
Thomas Gifford, the quarterback for the Carson Newman Eagles. He brings him up, the handoff to number 31, and he's got some running room. Gets out the 45, the 50, and down to about the 46-yard line. Some hard running by Ted Zalk Marcus.
Yes, Marcus smelling that goal line, wasn't he?
Not real sure-handed tackles on the left side of the Liberty Baptist line, but you got to imagine that they're pretty well demoralized being down 31-3. Marcus coming in there fresh and wanting to impress the coaches and the fans. And he breaks it through to about the 45.5-yard line. First and 10 yards to go for the Carson Newman Eagles as they try to put some more points on the board, up 31-3. Unbalanced line on that left side now, looks like. Gifford across the middle, handoff. There's number 25, Marvin Hill. Marvin with a pickup down to about the 39-yard line. It'll be second and about 5 yards to go. More changes for Carson Newman. And if we can run down those for you, we'll see who the new people are in the lineup. They may have made some changes on the offensive side of things, the offensive line. Number 80 for the Eagles, Steve Hart, flanked out to your left side of the screen. And there's a timeout called by the Eagles right now as they weren't real happy with the setup. Coach Sparks and his staff will talk to Thomas Gifford now on the Carson Newman side of the field. The crowd has pretty well stayed with us throughout the contest as they are savoring this victory. 4,700 Carson Newman Eagle fans on hand today. About 50, 75, I guess, made the trip over from Lynchburg to watch Liberty Baptist. They will have a long trip home tonight. Maybe they'll stay around and enjoy the fine hospitality of East Tennessee, and it won't be such a bad trip for them.
David, I was just being informed that there's over 1,000 RAs and GAs, which is the Baptist youth groups, in attendance today.
Well, we're very happy to have them with us. There's a Major League Baseball score, an update in the third inning now, the top of the third. Los Angeles leading Houston 2-0. We, of course, will join that game in progress at the end of the Carson Newman Liberty Baptist contest. Los Angeles leading 2-0. At last check, the Braves were falling to Cincinnati, so the Dodgers could be on their way to gaining a game in the National League Western Division pennant race. Handoff this time goes to Marcus again. He gets down to the 35-yard line, and that will be close to a first down.
While they're measuring to see if it's going to be a first down or not, we see that next week again, we should inform you, Franklin College will be here at Carson Newman. It's the only game in the area. It'll be Band Day featuring Carter High School, Jefferson County High School Band, and Sevier County Band. That's September the 18th. You should plan to be here.
Eagles apparently will be going for victory number 3 in that contest. September 18th, 1:30 kickoff at Bergtar Stadium. Gifford in there. He's got some new people in front of him, and they may have taken too much time. They did. Let's run down that offensive line because they've got new people in there, Carson Newman does, and they're just now going to change some of them up right now. Greg McCollum will come in at right tackle. Rusty Cutshaw is the right guard. Kevin Hilton is the new center, number 70. Brad Spivey, number 63, the left guard. Rick Oler, number 64, the left tackle. And Steve Dees, number 85, takes over in the slot position or tight end. Thomas Gifford still the quarterback for the Eagles, the third man used today. Of course, Jay Andrews goes out with a knee injury. Jeff Joslin does a fine job when he comes in. And now Gifford has his shot at it. He goes back to pass, looks across the middle, and that is a very fine reception.
Excellent reception. Excellent reception.
Number 85, tight end Steve Dees goes up and grabs that one out of the air. First and 10 for Carson Newman at the 27-yard line as the Eagles on their way to a victory this afternoon and trying to get more points. Pat Walker, number 86 in the Carson Newman lineup now. Steve Hart on the left side of your screen as we look at some of the crowd right now. Thomas Gifford, the quarterback. Handoff, and Marcus gets down to about the 26-yard line before Liberty Baptist wraps him up. 7:45 and counting as the Eagles are on their way to a 2-0 start in 1982. Last year 7-4. This year the prospects look a lot brighter. Coach Ken Sparks has more people back, more experienced people back, Kingfish, than he's ever had before. More returning starters and quality depth on both sides of the line.
Yes, he has. I think he has about 18 seniors, and that's a good leadership potential there.
Gifford back to pass, looking out to his left side. He throws deep toward the end zone, but it's overthrown, and I thought that was interference, and it was.
For Liberty Baptist, it's just one of those days. Nothing can go right.
Number 2, Earl Fisher, had the man pinned up against the sideline almost. And unless we're wrong, that's going to be defensive, and we're wrong. That's going to be offensive pass interference, and Kingfish, that certainly had me fooled.
Well, it did me also, so don't feel badly.
They called Ted Pageant, number 5, and Carson Newman for the interference there, saying it was offensive pass interference, and I don't know, we don't have a chance to look at it again. Here on the sideline, Carson Newman, place kicker Doug Jennings, of course, warming up, figuring that he might get a chance for a field goal now. In fact, they're even out of field goal range on the penalty. That's a loss of down, of course, as well. 3rd down and 24 yards to go now from the 40. And we're not paid to referee, so I don't guess I should make the comment on that, but it sure looked like it went the other way. But 31-3, Coach Sparks and his gang is not going to complain too much, I wouldn't think. Gifford back to pass. Over the middle, that could be picked off very easily, and it is. Number 5. Earl Hackley will bring it to about the 27-yard line, and Gifford not with a very good pass there. He might have been better off just to throw it away. So the Eagles do not score on this trip. Liberty Baptist will take over. 1st and 10 to go from the 25-yard line. 7:10 to go in the 4th quarter. The Flames of Liberty Baptist College out of Lynchburg, Virginia. The school founded by Jerry Falwell in 1971. So they have not had a football team, obviously, for very long. A new group. 1st and 10 to go from the 25. The handoff. Mitchell Clark gets away from one tackler, but not the next. And he's down at the 24-yard line. Pat Apke there to make the stop, along with Mike Reed. Carson Newman making a lot of changes. You'll see a lot of people. They dressed out about 98, we're told. And most of those people are going to get in here at the end of the game, so we will have a lot of new names to call out for you. 6:40, remember, baseball coming up after this one's over. Los Angeles and Houston. As we will switch you down to the Astrodome as soon as we leave Berktar Stadium. Forsland, the quarterback for Liberty Baptist, goes back to pass. He's got plenty of time, looks across the middle, but it's overthrown. Number 83, Kelvin Edwards, the man who has really not seen as much. He's seen playing time, Kingfish, but he's not seen the ball as much as we thought he would. They've gone to some of the people out of the backfield, and they really started going to Edwards when they were out of the contest.
They really did. I don't know whether he's just running bad routes or whether that passer just can't find out the route he's taking. He definitely can't get the ball there.
Mike Forsland, who is the number 2 quarterback, John Benson, was taken out after the game was already decided. Forsland, the number 1 punter, and the number 2 quarterback. Carson Newman almost jumps offside, but they get back in time. Fred Banks goes in motion. Forsland back to pass. Banks is open, but they go instead to Edwards again, and he misses him one more time. Flag on the play. We'll see what this is about. Carson Newman thinking it was holding down there, but we'll see what the call is. It would be 4th down, and the Flames would need to punt. And it's a personal foul call. Well, we've got an update. The Astros have come back to score a run against Los Angeles, now 2-1 after 3 innings of play down in the Astrodome. So the Dodgers and the Astros have a good one going, and we're going to join that for you, as we say, as soon as the ball game is over. Cincinnati and Atlanta playing today. Mike Rada, of course, on top of all those scores. Tonight at 6 and 11, he'll have a full update of college football, including tonight's Tennessee-Iowa State game. The new Center 26 crew, of course, being on hand there tonight to capture the action as the Volunteers try for their first victory of the year. Maybe if some of those fellas are watching this game this afternoon, Kingfish, it'll pump them up.
Well, I certainly hope that they can draw inspiration from someone who's doing a job such as Carson Newman is today. Tennessee's got a good ball club.
The Vols, of course, are making some changes defensively, as some of the key people like Reggie White are out this weekend. And they hope that the defense can play a little better than they did against Duke. The offense, of course, can move the ball, as we found out. Alan Cockrell, an excellent day against Duke, and he hopes to duplicate that tonight. But right now we are at 6:18 and counting in the 4th quarter. The Flames will punt. Forsland back. It's away. Another good punt. And in fact, it was so good that the Eagles just let it roll down to the 26-yard line. Dwayne Jackson back there, but he just elects to let the ball go. So 26-yard line, the Carson Newman Eagles will take over. 1st and 10 to go. As we play it out up here, Carson Newman just totally dominant today, and you can't say enough about the offense, the defense, the special teams, just a collectively very fine football team. Gifford, the quarterback again, Thomas Gifford, number 7. Eagle linemen go down in their stance. The handoff goes to the deep back this time. Stafal, Aaron Stafal, number 43. Stafal, 5'10", 181. He's a sophomore out of Kingston, Tennessee. And Kingfish, I know that high school football, of course, you've dealt with on a coaching basis, and you know that you develop those players, and down in Kingston, Tennessee, they develop them as well as they do anywhere in the state of Tennessee.
Certainly appear to. Was that not the boy that transferred from Liberty Baptist?
That's correct. Handoff in the middle, not much there this time. Stafel, the way you pronounce his name, S-I-E-F-F-A-L. Aaron Stafel. We'll get it right.
You say Stoffel if you want to, because I still say Tony Dorsett.
You got that right. Hey, when you're from East Tennessee, sometimes you say things funny.
That gives you poetic license automatically.
Our weekend man, Mike Rader from Cincinnati, and I'll tell you, he says that my accent's something he's never heard before. Well, he'll get used to it. Number 30 on the play that time, Jeff Urey, and he doesn't pick up much, so that will be 4th down. Carson Newman Eagles going to punt one more time, 4th down and 6. Carson Newman going to be 2-0. Liberty Baptist is going to be 0-2 after this one's over. So another punt coming up right here, 4th and 9. Stanton at the 15, he gets it away. And that one's going to go back to about the 25-yard line. Fred Banks will bring it out to about the 48. There's a flag on the play back at the 30. And let's hold it right here before we go to a break to find out what the flag is all about. They may have to punt it one more time. Find out what the flag is here before we go to a break. Carson Newman leading 31-3. 4:17 to go. A clip is the call, so that will push Liberty Baptist back. When we come back, they will be back about 15 yards more past the 30-yard line, so Liberty Baptist in another hole, which they have been in all day. Carson Newman leads Liberty Baptist with 4:17 to go, 31-3.
You're sure to be on time and fashionable as well with Citizen 7 quartz watches for men and women from JCPenney. Over 50 years of craftsmanship go into each Citizen 7 watch. Solid-state electronics for accuracy and reliability now and the future. For unequaled value, it's JCPenney's for Citizen 7 quartz watches. We're making the most of time.
Hey, Paul Adams, the old paint commissioner, has done it again. He's got fantastic savings on all Lucite wall paint. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $16.49, and his sale price is only $10.95. Plus, you get a $2.50 rebate from DuPont, making your cost a low $8.45 a gallon. Now, that's a savings of $8.04. Come, let the old paint commissioner paint you a deal at Granning Discount Paint Centers with 3 locations. 311 North Broadway, 4821 North Broadway, and 10001 Kingston Pike.
And while we were away, we missed one play for you, an incomplete pass as Liberty Baptist tries to go for the bomb. 2nd down and 10 to go at the 15-yard line. Mike Forston, the quarterback. He goes back to pass. He's got somebody complete here at the 36-yard line where he goes out of bounds. Pick up the receiver's number for you. That was number 80, Matthew Butler, on the reception. He gets up to the 34-yard line before he goes out of bounds. So 1st and 10 to go for the Liberty Baptist Flames as they hope to put some more points on the board before they go home to Lynchburg, Virginia. Last year, Liberty Baptist finished up 1-9. They lost a heartbreaker to start this season, 16-13 to Delta State. But this one has not been a heartbreaker. It has been a rout. Forston, the quarterback. goes back to pass. He's got time. Now he goes to his right, and he's in trouble.
David Renner, number 39.
Well, Kingfish, they just don't seem like they have had really any consistency at all as far as getting a game plan together. Once they got so far behind and they were forced to pass, they just sort of fell apart.
I think they definitely have. I think they had a traumatic experience on that opening kickoff return for a touchdown, and they just never have recouped psychologically.
Well, we saw what a kickoff return for a touchdown can do for Duke when they, of course, came back in the Tennessee game. Number 23 is Leonard Lawson into the Liberty Baptist lineup. He's a sophomore tailback out of McClendontown, Pennsylvania. So most of the players I've noticed on the Liberty Baptist roster, Kingfish, are from the Virginia area, South Carolina, some from Florida and Georgia. So very rare to see somebody from Pennsylvania. That's where that gentleman's from. Out to the 40-yard line, 3rd down and 5 yards to go as we are now at 2:50 in counting. Of course, baseball coming up next. Baseball next, then Focus with your host, Mr. David Lowe, then News Center 26, John Lomax, Harold Stannard, and Mike Rada updating you on what's been going on this afternoon. Mike Forson back to pass. Across the middle, it's complete to Fred Banks. He takes it to the 50 and down to about the 43-yard line. So the Flames will continue their drive as they'll pick up a 1st down at the 43. David Dye on the tackle for the Eagles. Next week for Liberty Baptist, they will play a very tough game, Kingfish. They got to go from here to take on Middle Tennessee State University, and the Blue Raiders are certainly no slouch, especially when you have to go play them in Murfreesboro.
That's correct.
So things do not look better for Liberty Baptist once they leave here. Of course, Carson Newman remains at home next week. They will take on Franklin as the Grizzlies from Franklin, Indiana, come into Bergtar Stadium next weekend. Forslund back to pass against. He's got 3 or 4 people out there. This time he'll pick out his receiver, number 83, Kelvin Edwards. And that's what we thought we'd see throughout the first half, and we really didn't see that.
It seems that Carson Newman is getting in a prevent defense, anticipatory of the offense, what the offense has to be. And quite often I've really wondered why a coach would ever go into a prevent defense, because for a defensive back to have that quarterback having that much time, it makes an undue pressure on him.
What would you say that does to a quarterback's percentage rate? How much do you think it increases it when you don't have that rush?
It enhances it tremendously.
Forslund goes back to pass again. He's got him open across the middle to number 87, and he just flat out dropped the ball.
Well, 87 was already crossing that goal line mentally. That was his problem.
That was Earl Rector, and he had a touchdown in his hands, but he just couldn't hang on to the ball. So the down will now be 2nd with 10 more yards to go. The Eagles have an injured player, it looks like, on the field right now, so we've got a momentary time lapse. Can you pick up that number down there for us, Steve, if you see who that is? One of the Eagles is down. Of course, they're going to 3rd team and maybe even some 4th team players out there now. The Eagles had this one wrapped up when they made it 24-3 back in the 3rd quarter. And they've just playing a lot of people, which of course they should. And Liberty Baptist has probably played as many as they have brought. They brought 60 people over here with them from Lynchburg, Virginia. We've had a little bit of rain today, but otherwise it's been a very nice day. A few sprinkles here and there, but not enough to hamper the play in any way, I wouldn't think.
Looks like
Still can't pick up that number for you. We'll get it as soon as we can. Jay Andrews went down early in this contest. It was back in the 2nd quarter when he injured his knee, and we are told he is out definitely for this game. And of course there's only 1:28 to go, but he was out all of the 2nd half and possibly out for the rest of the season. He will be evaluated, of course, tomorrow. And boy, Jay Andrews,
Tommy Harvison,
just an excellent quarterback, and it's such a shame. Number 84, Tommy Harveston, number 94, I believe that is. A backup linebacker is being helped off from the field, and possibly an ankle or a knee injury to Tommy. So 2nd down and 10, Liberty Baptist will have it. 1:28 to go. Of course, baseball follows. on WTVK. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. It really hasn't been that exciting a contest because Carson Newman has been so dominant. But the Eagles have shown people in East Tennessee, hopefully today, that they are for real this season. Forston goes back to pass. He's got a man out here in the flat, number 22. He takes it down to about the 19-yard line. James Cole, junior tailback. Clock running with 1:15 to go. Liberty Baptist hopes to get some points on the board. 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. Some statistics in the game. Boyce Green officially 161 yards on 8 carries. Hugh Rutledge 48 on 12 carries. Mitchell Clark led the Flames 69 yards on 18 carries. Forsland back to pass again. He's getting some pressure now. Rolls out to his right. He's going to loft it toward the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down with 47 seconds left to go. Kingfish, if you had to sum up the performance of the Eagles in just a couple of sentences today, what would it be?
I would have to say they're just very astute on defense. They are very pursuit conscious, and they were just awe-inspiring as far as offense went. Very well-rounded.
So it will be 4th down and 8 yards to go. Obviously, the Flames are going to try to get it in the end zone if they can. They've only got 47 seconds left. Receivers to the left and the right, 2 running backs in the I formation. Forston goes back to pass one more time. He's got pressure. He's got time to get rid of it, though. He throws toward the 4-yard line. I believe it's a completion. It is to Kelvin Edwards at the 4-yard line. So that will be 1st down and goal to go, as the Flames are going to call a timeout right now. 1st down and goal to go from about the 4-yard line. So, Kingfish, this score probably wouldn't mean anything as far as this game was concerned, but
I think it's purely academic, David. You're certainly right, but, you know, always kind of pulling for an underdog. You'd like to see them go ahead and punch it in.
Well, what I'm talking about is the momentum that it might give them for the next game that they're going to play when they go to Middle Tennessee State, because they've had such a miserable day today. If they could go out with a score, it might give them a little bit of confidence leaving here.
Absolutely.
The Carson Newman band strikes up the fight song, and that song has been played a lot today. The orange and white pom-poms going over in the stands. Coach Ken Sparks, of course, going to get his 2nd victory of the young season. Congratulations to his fine staff today. And for Coach Tom Dowling and his staff at Liberty Baptist, hopefully it will be a better day sometime later in this season.
I know they'll be glad to get rid of their Tennessee travels.
It has not been a very welcome day for them in East Tennessee, that's for sure. Maybe they could go to the World's Fair or do something here that they'd enjoy. 1st and goal for Liberty Baptist at the 4.5-yard line. Mike Forsland brings it up. Hand off to number 32. He's at the 1, and he's in for the touchdown. James Cole, number 22, with the score. Liberty Baptist gets a touchdown, make it 31-9. So a good drive there for the Liberty Baptist team, even though they were going up probably against Carson Newman's 3rd and maybe even 4th team. But Liberty Baptist nevertheless on the scoreboard, and it will be 31-9, and if they can get the point after, 31-10. Number 3, Mark DeMoss, will go for this PAT, and this is an important one because every one adds to a record at Liberty Baptist. They've had 94 consecutive. And they've now had 95 consecutive, as Mark DeMoss puts it through. 31-10, the score. We've got 33 seconds to go in this contest. Liberty Baptist will be kicking off. The Carson Newman Eagles will be receiving. And Kingfish, I'd say that probably Coach Sparks won't want to try to rub it in any. He'll probably just lay on the ball for the last 30 seconds.
You don't imagine there being the onside kick either, do you?
I would not think so. Nah. 33 seconds to go. Carson Newman, with a victory this afternoon, will be 2-0. They take on Franklin, the Franklin Grizzlies out of Franklin, Indiana. Last year, the contest 35-29. Carson Newman a winner over Franklin. .33 seconds to go, and 31-10 the score. So if nothing unforeseen happens, that will be the final score. Last week, of course, Carson Newman 37-16. So Kingfish, they have scored 68 points in 2 games. That's not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Not an onside kick, but a squib kick anyway, and it goes down to about the 5-yard line where Carson Newman will pick it up. And we'll make it out to about the 16-yard line. Aaron Seifel on that carry. So there's now 27 seconds to go, and the crowd is finally starting to clear out. Kingfish, these people up here stay with you all the way through the game. Doesn't really matter what the score is. I haven't seen over, well, I'd say at least 2/3 of the crowd's still here.
Oh, definitely so, and I think that's the real test of a true football spectator. They're out for the game.
And they have seen their heroes do quite well today. 31-10. 27 seconds to go. The quarterback is still Gifford. And he will hand off to number 30. And that's a pickup for Jeff Urey out to about the 27-yard line. Urey came in later. The Eagles have used about 6 or 7 running backs now, I guess, in the contest. 3 quarterbacks. A couple of sets of linemen, offensively and defensively. And baseball update for you right now. Los Angeles and Houston, the Astros have tied it up 2-2, so we're going to have a good one to send you to as soon as this is over. Oh, there's a fumble on the play. Liberty Baptist is going to pick it up. They can't advance with it. Number 68 on the recovery as Carson Newman bobbles it. So ostensibly, with 4 seconds to go, Dale Gray on the recovery there. Liberty Baptist could get some more points on the board. Only 4 seconds to go. Carson Newman with the fumble. Mike Stone lost the ball. 4 seconds to go, and after we leave this one, we'll be sending you to Major League Baseball. We'd like to thank our fine TV26 crew today. Producer Alexis Magnotti, directors David Williams and Melanie Zaft. Audio, Elaine Havley. Tom Halcomb. Camera people, Daryl Stanford. If I can remember all these, I'm going to do well. Mike Watkins, Chris Dyer, Barbara Griffith, and Corky and Liza, of course. Can't forget them. Liza, of course, who made her fame at the 1982 World's Fair, the Today Show, which, of course, you can see here on WTVK weekdays from 11 to 12 with Jim Hampton and Jim Hess today, the 1982 World's Fair, as we plug one of our shows a little bit, if that's okay. Linda Lottinger and Ray Lawley, of course, the fine engineering crew. Don Roche with the statistics back at the station. And Mr. William Eckstein, the executive producer of Carson Newman Football. Pass over the middle, intercepted. Pat Apke with the interception, and he finally goes down about the 24-yard line. He didn't want to go down with the ball, but he does, and what a way to end the contest.
Well, they started off fast, they ended up fast. That's all Carson Newman.
How about those Eagles? They do it today in big style, grand style today, as they win their opener and go 2-0 in this young season. 31-10 the final today. Carson Newman, a winner over Liberty Baptist. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment.
Miss America. Who will she be? Meet the 50 beautiful and talented young women vying for the coveted Miss America title. It's a special pageant preview that takes you to the heart of the Atlantic City festivities to capture the excitement, the color, the seldom seen behind-the-scenes activity of this year's pageant week. Get an early look at the contestants and make your choice. Miss America. Who will she be?
Saturday night at 8, only on WTVK.
Hello, I'm Tom Brokaw.
I'm Art Powell.
And I'm Roger Mudd. NBC News continues a tradition of national and international reporting that brings the world into focus. That's our job at NBC Nightly News.
And for the stories that affect you in Knoxville and around East Tennessee, join us on News Center 26.
It's a partnership that works for you. NBC Nightly News, weeknights at 6:30.
Immediately following News Center 26 on WTVK TV 26.
NBC News. Experience you can trust.
Well, we see Coach Ken Sparks out on the field. He's starting his 3rd season here at Jefferson City. Carson Newman College, a winner today in grand style, 31-10. They got off to a good start with the kickoff return Kingfish, and it was clear sailing after that.
It definitely was, David. I think that this was a great game. The Carson Newman Eagles proved themselves to be real high flyers by starting off the very first play on a kickoff for about a 90-yard touchdown return. The defense played well. The secondary looked good at all times on defense, as well as the offensive line showed good protection for the quarterbacks. I was just real thrilled to be working with you, by the way. You handle yourself very well, and I don't care what that boy from Cincinnati says about the way you talk. I like it.
All right, Kingfish, we've enjoyed having you along on the broadcast. Of course, we'll be back up here to do the Gardner-Webb game. That will be on October 23rd, homecoming at Carson-Newman as the Eagles take on Gardner-Webb, a 2:30 kickoff. That may be changed later on. We'll let you know about that. October 23rd, Gardner-Webb. Of course, next week, September 18th, Franklin comes into Bergtar Stadium to take on the Carson-Newman Eagles. We've enjoyed bringing you the broadcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and you will stay tuned to WTVK. Baseball is up next. Houston taking on Los Angeles in NBC Game of the Week Baseball. We'll be back up here at Carson-Newman October 23rd, and tonight we'll join you for more football tonight. Stay with us. So long from Jefferson City.
Today's game has been brought to you by J.C. Penney and Granning Paint, who have joined our huddle. Join us again on Saturday, October 23rd for more live Carson-Newman football when the Eagles battle Gardner-Webb. Till then, keep up with the Eagle action on the Ken Sparks Show, Saturdays at 12 noon. All right here on WTVK, TV 26.
And one run home on the Yeager triple. Infield in. Royce the hitter. One strike. The first replay we had was the exact same angle, or about the same angle that the umpire would have had, and you couldn't tell. But we don't have umpires in center field. That center field cameraman swung down the wall. Breaking ball misses. 1-1. And to be able to slow it down and get another look at it. Controversial call. As it turned out, our replays conclusively show the one replay that was a home run. No outs. Fly ball left center field. It'll score a run. Cruz back. It is off the wall on a hop. So Royce will pull in with a stand-up double. RBI. 4-2 Dodgers.
Here's a look. Rule gets it outside on the corner, and Royce goes with it, and Cruz was playing in. They just can't catch up with it. It's a one-hopper, and Royce, not that much of a hitter, drives in a run, and it's a 4-2 ball game. Dodgers out in front.
So Les Moss, the pitching coach, comes in and have a conference on the mound. Dodgers, the 4-2 lead, and Bob Knepper has been a starter. This ball club has been moved to the bullpen as he struggled. Bob Knepper, one of the reasons why this team got off to such a very slow start. He and Nolan Ryan started off poorly. Ryan's recovered. Knepper has struggled. They lost Sam Beto with the elbow surgery. His future is in doubt. Then Dave Smith, second half of their stoppers out of the bullpen, hurt his back. So they've had pitching problems most of the year. 4-2, Dodgers over the Astros. Top of the fifth. Royce at second. Steve Sachs, the hitter. Sachs singled in the first, scored a run, and he grounded out. His job with nobody out, get the ball to the right side. He'd like to push the ball if he wants to, or probably swing away, go the other way. Knight's in close at first. In fact, there may come into play Sachs with that bad wrist after getting hit by a pitch from Mailer. May elect to bunt on his own. He was having difficulty swinging in batting practice. 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody out. He does the job. Goes to Doran. So Sachs moves Royce to third base. Over the years, very few teams at a major league level executes better than the Dodger players. It is pumped into them at Vero Beach from the time they are kids. They first signed a contract. He does an excellent job. Now Lillis is out. He'll remove Rule, and Bob Knepper will come in. So there's just 1 out. Royce is at third base. Landreau, the scheduled hitter. There's a break in the action here from the Astrodome with the score Dodgers 4, the Astros 2. We'll be right back.
Well, you set a record.
Yep. What pitcher ever gave up 34 runs in an inning?
You feel better after a shower.
I don't feel better.
Let me see that soap. Smells like medicine. Try this Coast.
Boy, Coast smells terrific. Feels terrific. I feel terrific. And look at this lather.
I feel so great. I'll be ready to pitch again tomorrow. You may be. I'm not sure baseball is.
No other soap picks you up quite like Coast, the eye-opener.
If only you could hear what people think.
Like to be his best friend.
Cute, but she's scratching her head. It could be dandruff.
It almost got tangled. That little itch could be showing people you have dandruff. But Head & Shoulders handles that itch, so all it shows is hair that's soft and shiny clean.
Terrific. Whoops, looks like I've got us all tangled up.
Try Head & Shoulders shampoo and show off your hair, not the itch of dandruff, in regular and conditioning formulas.
You've heard me talk about Ford Care on Escort and EXP, right? Well, others have tried, but nobody's matched it. Ford Care and only Ford Care covers the whole car for 2 years, every nut and bolt. No deductibles, no strings, no fooling. Who covers the whole car? Nobody but Ford.
Save hundreds right now during Ford's factory-authorized clearance sale.
It's an all-new Chips this fall with new chases, new faces, new action and attractions.
Those teeth look familiar.
Same teeth, better show. Chips premiering October 10th.
Bob Nebber has come on to relieve Vern Rule with Royce at third base. Landreau the hitter. There are his stats. His 31st ball game. Only his third appearance in relief. Infield in for Houston. Dodgers lead by 2. Cincinnati 4, Atlanta 1. Atlanta, home run by Chris Chambliss. One strike. Nepper with a good curveball. When he has trouble controlling it, he gets in trouble.
So many factors coming down the stretch that teams like to grab onto, and the Dodgers would like to go home in first place.
Breaking ball has Landreau way out in front. He really fooled him. 2 strikes on Ken Landreau. 1 out. Royce at third.
Just like before the game, they said, what doesn't make any difference? We go back home. A game and a half, that's not that much, but there's no way they can go home.
Well, they've got
half game, but it's the same thing.
After today, they've got just 19 games left. Yes, they do have a good home schedule, the Dodgers. Oddly enough, Atlanta, most of this year, has been a better ball club on the road than they have at home. It's not the way their pattern has been over the last few years. 1 ball, 2 strikes in Landreau. He's grounded out twice in this ball game. 2-2.
Experience, that's going to be the thing in the bullpen.
Well, Atlanta has Garber, who has plenty of experience, having an outstanding year, and they've got the hard thrower Bedrosian.
Oh, boy.
Not much experience, but he can blow you away for a couple of innings. 2-2, breaking ball. He gets it to the outfield. Poole is going to have to hustle. He does not get it. Royce will score with the 5th run, and Landreau hustles out a double. Terry Poole was playing very deep, and Joe, I wonder if, even though he plays in this park a lot, they don't play that many day baseball games. It is tough in this Astrodome roof to pick up the ball. With the sun between the girders, you can see to the background above Royce's head, and he may have lost it temporarily because he didn't get a good break.
I don't think he saw it from the very beginning, Tony, and he tries to shoestring it, but just doesn't come up with it, and it is a tough background. He gives it all he's got once he spots it, but he was just late.
So Royce comes home with the 3rd run of the inning. Dusty Baker, earlier in the ball game, hit a 2-run home run with Sachs on first base. Gave the Dodgers a 2-0 lead in the first. Way inside, almost hits Baker. Breaking pitch, 1 ball. Here it is, a breaking ball, low and away from Vern Rule. Dusty Baker. 2-run home run, his 23rd of the year, 184th career. They did the next time up. Tried to go for a double with 2 out, and Scott got him by plenty. 2-0 the count on Dusty Baker. Dodgers with 8 base hits. They've committed 2 errors. Astros with 4 hits. 5-2 Dodgers over Houston. Changeup or just here one of those batting practice
no, I think he was just change of speed. I think it was
2 balls, no strikes. He said, here, hit it, looked like almost. That's that one that Palmer and the Baltimore Orioles staff said when they got a little bit of a lead or when they're way behind, they call it the batting practice fastball. Go ahead and wail away. 2-1. Deep to center field. Scott back to the warning track. Landreau will tag up at second. 2 outs. Landreau will breeze easily to third base. So Baker hits the ball hard one more time back to the warning track. Not in this ballpark. Well, a home run hitting all over it in a lot of parks in this league, including Atlanta, Wrigley Field, probably Dodger Stadium. Now it's Pedro Guerrero. Lined out to right field in the 4th. Got on an error in the 3rd baseman. Very consistent this year. 35 of his last 37 games. Average over that span, 357. Popped up. Should be out of play. 1 strike. Remember in Cincinnati how he could pick up Manny Mota with his voice? Just shouted some instructions down. Not to try and pull the ball.
He worries about Guerrero's front shoulder that he opens up too soon. That's what he keeps howling to him.
1 strike on Guerrero. There are 2 outs. Dodgers 5, Astros 2. We're in the top of the 5th. Landreau at 3rd. Good fastball from Nepper. Way ahead in the count on Guerrero. 2 strikes. Fouled off.
Not knowing any Spanish, I think he says what all first base coaches are saying, get a good ball.
You can see how Guerrero now has choked up on the bat. Well, let's see if he's going to choke up or not. No, he isn't choked up at all. He's still swinging from down at the end. But he will try and go the opposite way a little bit more in this situation. Breaking ball, change of speeds, fly ball, short center. Scott now is going to have to hurry. He's got it for out number 3, but the Dodgers come up with 3 more, a home run. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. With the score, 5-3. 5-2, Dodgers over the Astros.
Once you put motor on a can, you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't watch it work. So how do you know how good it is?
At Quaker State, we put it in writing. We back up our quality with a lifetime guarantee.
How do you know how good Quaker State is?
We guarantee every new car engine against oil-related failure for as long as you own your car. We put it in writing.
We're working to keep your car staying on the road.
How do you know how good Quaker State is? We put it in writing. No one else does.
Hawk, free-spirited, riding on the wind. Hawk, soaring to heights no other can reach. Now for the man who reaches higher. We've captured that high-flying feeling in a men's fragrance. Hawk, challenging, exhilarating. Now for the man who reaches higher. Hawk by Menon.
These days, it's excuses, excuses, excuses.
After we make it, it's out of our hands.
Hey, come on, I only sell it.
I can't fix it. Who sold you this anyway?
But not at a Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Center. It's the only place our audio and video equipment is sold and serviced. And we back them up with our 4-year limited warranty. So we have to give you service, not excuses.
Curtis Mathis, the most expensive television in America, and worth it.
The Oilers and the Bengals, the Raiders and the 49ers, the Dolphins and the Jets, the Chiefs and the Bills, plus regional action on the season premiere of NFL 82 tomorrow.
Fernando Valenzuela. El Gaucho, isn't that what they call the Mexican riders of vaqueros down there with the lassos and the horses? Dodgers 5, Astros 2. Royce will face Poole, Thon, and Knight. As always, Joe and I, along with some help from our truck, will be picking the Miller High Life MVP in this ball game. And some help from our statistician, Steve Dans. Foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also, our 7th inning stretch. Gil Hodges featured today. Breaking ball. Royce misses. One of the first breaking balls that Royce has thrown goes 2 balls, 1 strike. This fastball really moves, as Tommy Lasorda said, when it's down in the strike zone.
Tony, congratulations to Chrissy Everett, Lloyd,
Ms. Mandlikova, singles, women's U.S. Open champion. Poole takes a pitch from Royce, strike 3. Now it'll bring up Dickie Thon. 3rd strikeout for Royce. Looks like he might be back in the groove now with that 3-run lead, Joe.
In this ballpark, that's the key. Just throw strikes, put something on, and that's a tough pitch to hit. That's a perfect pitch.
That's the one that looks like the slider, that cut fastball, just ran away from Poole. Fouled off by Thon. So Royce back down low in the strike zone where he is most effective.
Yeager, his catcher, really giving him a nice low target. When you got a 3-run lead, you just want your pitcher to throw strikes.
Changeup. 2 strikes to Thon. Thon is grounded out and walked. Dodgers a game and a half behind in the Western Division. The Atlanta Braves. Cincinnati leading over Atlanta 4-1. That's in the 5th. 4th strikeout as Royce gets Thon.
May have chased a bad ball, but you can't be that choosy when you got 2 strikes on you. It's a good fastball. He gets it up. Thon got a pretty good cut at it.
The exact opposite kind of movement on the ball from the strikeout that Terry Poole had. That was a cut fastball that moved away from Poole. This one moved the opposite direction, away from the right-hand hitter Thon. Now it's Ray Knight. 2 ground outs. Foul out of play. Astros with some action in their bullpen. Zacharias Harris. Z-A-C-A-R-I-A-S. Boy, his fastball is really moving now. Knight goes after a fastball about a foot out of the strike zone. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Dodgers 5, Astros 2. We're the bottom of the 5th. Lasorda with his bullpen pitching very well over the last month, with the exception of Atlanta. They struggled. Good breaking pitch. Took something off, so Royce strikes out the side after 5 here in Houston. The score, 5-2. Dodgers lead over the Astros.
17 hours. That's how long it took us to paint this house with the brush. Then we painted it in just 6.5 hours with the Wagner Power Painter. This wicker chair took over an hour, but less than 5 minutes with a Wagner Power Painter. A shutter that took 20 minutes, a Power Painter finished in only 3. It's a tool so versatile, it has a flexible spray tip and a way to draw paint right from a can. A Wagner Power Painter. It's the right tool for painting. Denny's creates our ultimate omelet. We cut and chop and slice and mince and dice and grill and crack and stir and mix and melt and pour and stuff and top and serve. All for the special price this month of only $2.99. Our ultimate omelet, only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
When you're a big guy like me, people always want to see just how strong you are. So after this arm works, this arm always relaxes with light beer from Miller. The light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it tastes great. What I like about it, it's less filling. So when you're in a hot match like this, You can't afford to get filled up.
You have the time?
Yeah. About 8:30.
Yeah, thanks.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Next.
Some of the super scouts here watching. The fella on the left of your screen just put his hands to his face. Hal Smith, former Cardinal catcher, songwriter. Such great hits as Sittin', Spittin', and Whittling. Sid Hudson, I recognize him. The light shirt in front. All here. Super scouting.
So we'll go to the 6th. Garvey, Monday, Russell. Face Bob Knepper, the second Houston pitcher. Welcome to those of you watching the Boston-Detroit game right here in Houston. Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek. Dodgers 5, Astros 2. Dusty Baker's hit a 2-run home run. It is Steve Garvey, Monday, and Russell face Bob Knepper, the second Houston pitcher. Garvey grounded into a double play in the first. Tried to bunt on Garner in the fourth, was thrown out. Good change from Knepper. 2 strikes.
Tony, the Cubs are coming back. They've got 5 runs at the end of 4. Montreal leading now 7-5 at the end of 4. Sanderson a grand slammer and Oliver a home run in that game. And it's 4-1 Cincinnati over Atlanta in the bottom of the 5th inning. Concepcion a 3-run homer.
Breaking ball, ground ball to Guitan. Over the night, 1 out. Well, there was a controversial call for Bruce Fleming. The umpire really didn't cost anything with Yeager up and a man on. Hits this ball off Vern Rule. That Bruce Fleming, the third base umpire, they're working with a 3-man crew here, and from this angle you will see it is a home run as Scott doesn't even chase it. Now Fleming is not giving the home run sign. This is the argument that ensued with Tommy Lasorda. Yeager was given an RBI and a triple. It really didn't have any effect on this ball game because he ultimately scored. So now, with 1 out, the Dodgers 5, Astros 2. We're going to take you back to Bob Costas in Boston and Sal Bando. Monday, single to center field in the 2nd, stole a base and struck out in the 4th. 1 out. One ball, 1 strike. Monday made a big throw early in the ball game, cutting a runner down at third base. The infielder, Bill Doran. Big curveball from Knepper. When he's got a good curveball, he is especially effective. He can throw it for strikes. Sometimes I think, Joe, like a lot of pitchers, you have the big curve. They have trouble keeping it down in good spots in the strike zone. When it doesn't bite, it hangs high. When they overthrow it, it bounces in the dirt. It's a very delicate pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. There it is. He dropped down from the side and just missed. 2-2 to Monday.
That big breaking curveball, the pitcher has to really start it behind the hitter and hope that the hitter gives up on it. But if it hangs inside, he's falling away, and it's really his power pitch then.
2-2 to Monday. Fastball, he jammed him. Fly ball, short left field. Cheo Cruz. 2 outs.
Baltimore 4, Cleveland 1 at the end of 6. That's Flanagan against Heaton now, and it's the Boston Red Sox 4, Detroit 2 in the bottom of the 4th.
Bill Russell single, infield single in the 2nd, was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning and then scored. He was on base when Yeager hit the ball off the wall. He was awarded a triple. Jerry Royce then doubled, another run home.
Tony, see that shot right there where that glass is? That's Dick Stello.
He was out, check swing foul. He was, Dick Stello was out on the field before the ball game behind home plate, but he had a shower shoe on. He's got a broken toe on his right foot. He umpired yesterday, but it was too painful. So he will leave this crew and go home to St. Petersburg, Florida. Foul out of play again. And they will beef up this crew. Charlie Williams will come in and be Stella's replacement. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Knepper facing Bill Russell.